Guys, I am so beat. It's like 90 degrees. I've been running for an hour. I'm going to try to give you a Lethal Weapon 4 review. If I fall down and die, don't be shocked. It'll be too late for me. Just, stay strong. Lethal Weapon 4, the worst entry in the Lethal Weapon series. But again, got to applaud it for sticking with the whole group. Shane Black, not necessarily there as a writer, but if there's an actor in previous Lethal Weapon, they have returned. Sam the dog is back, as is the new Rottweiler. This is quite an explosive beginning. There's a guy, he's got a little postal, opening fire on stores, listening to Van Halen's song, Fire in the Hole. This was a new Van Halen song in 1998. That's pretty ballsy to include in a movie. So, yeah, this is going down. And instead of really doing anything to stop the guy, Riggs and Murtaugh are arguing about what they're going to do. Also, we have some secrets. Hey, your gal's pregnant. My gal's pregnant. Well, did you know that Renee, your daughter's pregnant too? Oh, really? So I'm going to be a dad. You're going to be a granddad? Yep. Cool. Oh, hey, let's shoot this guy. Okay, you take off your clothes, squawk like a chicken, distract him. I'll shoot the valve on this compressor where he's got this this torch thing going. And it's melting my brain out here. I'm losing my vocabulary, people. So he does that. Hell of an explosion. Pretty cool way to start a movie. Well, fast forward a little bit. We're on Murtaugh's boat. He's there with Leo and Riggs. They caught a shark, but they're trying to get some pictures of this thing, whatever. And a boat sideswipes them, so you hear some gunfire. They sneak on the boat, shoot some people up. Chinese immigrants being smuggled over, human slavery kind of stuff. So, it's kind of bad. Well, one whole family sneaks off and hides in a piece of Murtaugh's boat. Yeah, his boat got messed up. And he finds them, takes them in. He says, they're like slaves. This is like my people here. I relate to them. I think they're called Hongs. So he takes them in. They're both actually promoted to captain, Murtaugh and Riggs, because they can't get fired, but the city has a problem with insurance. These guys are costing too much money, so just do something easy. Be a captain. And that's what they get. So they have to run around with this guy Butters. And this aids in breaking the movie. Chris Rock, there's so much of his stand-up just infused in this for no reason. Let me tell you about a cell phone. You know why they make them so small? So you can lose them. Never lost my mother's phone. 9. 8. Oh, forgot the number. Start again. 9. That stuff's going down. Then he argues with Leo, and it's just character overkill. Chris Rock shows up, can barely shoot a gun. There you go. Miscast? Maybe. Did Renee's baby daddy need to be somebody on the force? Is Murtaugh thinking he's gay, hitting on him? Is that really adding anything to the movie? It tries too hard with the comedy. So, they find out this guy, Uncle Benny, has the flied lice, you plick. Yeah, I remember so much about this movie, and last time I saw it was probably summer of 1999 on VHS. But it stuck with me so much, in part because of Jet Li. He's really pulling the strings behind the scenes here, and everything he does is maximum badass. Jet Li's the villain, and he vills hard. So, Jet Li is like doing all this awesome stuff, choking people out with his legs, kicking people upside the head from the back of it. It's just amazing. This is Jet Li's introduction to Western society here. So, he's more than a match for Riggs and Murtaugh, even combined. He roughs up, hell, he gets rough of Rene Russo. Has everybody locked down in Murtaugh's house. It gets lit on fire. I think the only time Murtaugh's house doesn't get wrecked is in Lethal Weapon 3. Other than that, easily accessed house. So, they end up chasing these guys. Pretty sweet car chase. Pontiac Grand Am, S-Class Mercedes, on the highway. Riggs sneaks into like this house that's being transported down the highway. They have a fight there against the tarp, you know, and he ends up falling out of the house, but he holds onto the tarp and sits on this table. You know, they get back in the Grand Am and they go through a building, then out the other side. Bear in mind, 4 movies, 4 action movies from Hollywood, 0 CGI at any point in any of them. So it's impressive stunts, is what you have to call this. Impressive stunts and special effects. So the guy they're pursuing actually crashes and shit. But they start to find out that these hongs, they got kidnapped by the bad guys. They're being used as a bit of a trade. Okay, we got this artist, he does engraving, he makes funny money, and we got your family over here now, start engraving. Oh, we're killing one. If you want the rest of them to live, you're gonna have to do your part. So the guy finishes the bills. They're using these bills to pay for these triads that this shady general's holding. Murtaugh, Riggs, hell, everybody shows up and confront the guys. Yeah, there's some action scenes between then and there too. Some cool use of a train to kill people, push their car into the train. Rene Lusso, Lorna gets in on this, turns around, caps the guy, they drive off. Train takes this bastard out. It's pretty cool. But, you know, back to the big fight. Shit, my camera stopped recording and I don't know where it stopped. So, picking up Lethal Weapon 4 at the finale. Alright, I'll start jogging. I'm so damn hot, guys. But, you know, this is why I make the big bucks, right? So, we have Murtaugh and Riggs are ready to shoot up Jet Li. They gotta ask him, hey, how do you do that trick where he took my gun apart? Ain't that something? Yeah, we better go ask him. You know, we're too old for this shit. So you get to fighting him. And Jet Li's beating him up pretty good. But Murtaugh, he plays a little dirty, gets the wrought iron out, impales him, and then he's fighting with Riggs, and they kind of both fall in the water, but Murtaugh's knocked out too. Then in the water, Riggs has to shoot him with like an AK he found on the floor of the surface. You know, they're under this dock anyways. So they shoot him up and he's about to climb out, but then more stuff breaks off and it traps him. But then Murtaugh is like, I hear you, buddy. Comes, helps him on 3, right? So they have their on 3 bit, and you know, it's nice to have that incorporated back into the movie. You know, everything's back. Like, all the characters, I think all the kids that ever played the kids, both dogs, Burbank, never seen from again. But, you know, he pulls Riggs out, and they're having their little moment together. You willed me to you and all this stuff. It worked. Positive thinking. You know, Mel Gibson has short hair in this, and at the time I first saw this, I thought, well, it makes it seem not like a Lethal Weapon movie. 3 movies, long hair, now he's got short hair. What the hell? Kind of bothers me. So, they got their little moment. Flash forward a little bit. Riggs is at his wife's grave, as we saw near the end of the first movie. He says how he misses her and all this, but he loves his gal Lorna. Oh, we're having a little heart-to-heart talk with Leo, but interrupted, and having a baby. Go to the hospital, what do you know? There's a baby scene going down, but Lorna wants to get married first. They find a rabbi. Hey, they were struggling to find somebody. They get married real quick, and she has a kid, but then that Butters baby comes too. So they have their little moment. Captain shows up. Yeah, the captain actually had a role in all 4 movies, but he actually got to play a little bit of the action in the 3rd. Didn't so much here. Comes by and says, hey, guess what? You're sergeants again. They're demoted, but they're cool with it. Everybody poses for a parting shot. Okay, what are you guys? You guys friends? No, we're family. On 3, you know. And why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Starts playing as we see a montage of scrapbook from all the movies, all 4 movies, and this is how you know it ended. Wrapped it up with a nice little bow. I don't know how much of the beginning of this review got cut off by my camera kind of malfunctioning there, but as I was saying at the early part here, it's a nice story. They had 5 years to work on the story. The story is a little more involving than the 3rd movie. Jet Li is a hell of a bad guy. This is his introduction to Western pop culture. I still think of him as the bad guy in Lethal Weapon 4. You know, it's a slick movie. 4 action films in this series from Hollywood. 0 CGI. It's all stunts and special effects. And it looks pretty damn impressive still. But this one doubled down too much on the comedy. Butters, Chris Rock, too much of his shtick incorporated into the film. Too much of this, oh, let me tell you why they make your phone small, you know? All that crap, you know, it's too much. Too much comedy to be taken too damn seriously. Especially when you have the juxtaposition of Jet Li. But you know what, it's still enjoyable. Give Lethal Weapon 4 2.5 out of 4 stars.